Hello, hello, welcome everybody. Happy New Year, Merry Christmas. Hope everybody had a good holiday season. But um, but yeah, let's get back to work. I have not really looked at charts much since like probably since Christmas. Pretty much since the last webinar, I would say. It's like I haven't really been looking too much at charts. I don't really care what was going on. I'm sure there was some good moves during the days, especially from a scalp POV. But outside of that, I really wanted to see how we were going to close uh our monthly candle and our 6 month candle and our 3 month candle. And we can go ahead and go through those and we can go through some case studies if anybody has some and some questions after that. But yeah, I wanted to change my colors up. I do like this turquoise a lot more. But guys, please mute mics, mute mics. Anyways, um I was looking at this earlier right now. I just didn't trade it just because it was Friday and I didn't want to take an entire reversal solely uh on a Friday, right? But essentially, what I was looking at here is if you go to the daily, right, we're still very bearish. We cleared these three equal lows, cleared through it, and we have a next potential target at play, which would be technically here. And we are technically within this previous buy to sell. Um, so what I was looking at, because we've been pretty bullish for the past week or so, I believe. What I was really looking at here, wanting to see is if we could potentially sweep, right, this previous high, last structural range from high to low. We sweep that high, and then internally there's another sweep as well. And from that sweep, we had then potentially a transition. So I was actually thinking about trading it, but I kind of didn't want to at the end of the day. But at first I was just looking at these simple reactions here, but the issue with the reaction of the POI there is the fact that this is kind of it's kind of creating a flag. So I kind of wanted to wait for this to be taken out. And then obviously if that's taken out, then we have to go based on buy to sell. Um, and the reason why this is the entire zone is because if we also go to the H1, right, there is a three-pin pattern, a massive bearish engulfing. After the bearish engulfing, broke internal structure. And this would even be also considered like the entire POI from the higher time frame, which would have been there, right? So just based on that alone, that could have been justified for a position, and it actually would have been almost directly in a profit, right? Outside of that, the only other pair I was looking at today was Euro USD. I just didn't get any move that I wanted. Like I actually wanted this here. Um, so I was looking at this from a pretty reversal based situation because there really wasn't much to go off of here. The only thing that we have to go off of here is potentially right a sell to buy that led to breaking out this and sweeping that. But I do believe that we might even see this low be taken, right? However, the the only thing that was holding me back here is the internal price action, the internal price action here. We have one low, two low, equal low that we left yesterday, or in Wednesday, I'm sorry. And there really wasn't any more price action. But the reason why I didn't want to trade today was this is something I didn't actually check is um the price action difference between like FXCM and Oanda. It does look a little bit different. Not too different, but just because we did close for all of yesterday. See from like 12:31, 1 hour before London session open, all the way until to this morning, an hour and a half before London session open was closed. So I just wanted to make sure that the price action was the same for each, right? For each, but it's slightly different. But anyways, we did have two equal lows, we swept equal lows, and we kind of gave an immediate reaction. However, I couldn't justify a sweep until we had internal structure, potentially give a structural disruption, because I was actually looking at this also from low into high, CBOS, pullback, push up, and then that V shape would cause the structural disruption. So we did not get the pullback, so I just was not able to execute on that. And then my immediate target would have been equal highs there. So unfortunate, I didn't get to see that happen. So now I'm not really too interested because obviously we're probably coming back here, but I'm not really too interested in taking this buy because we have high, low, CBOS retracement. So therefore, I'm expecting these equal lows to be a target, right? If anything, if we were still like around here and we get a pullback, then I would like to take that instead into equal lows. But as of now, I'm just no longer interested in that. The only other thing I was looking at a couple days ago. All right, this is the only other thing I was looking at. It was UJ, just because we were in a very bullish trend. We did have an internal sweep LGC, and then from the LGC, we then had obviously sell to buy, and then based on the sell to buy, we had not only a 71 retracement, but we also had potentially an accumulation here. So I kind of wanted to see something like that, but but unfortunately, right, this ended up kind of just going without giving any decent pullback, right? If we can see here, right? Once we saw this push up after the internal break of structure, we didn't even get any type of pullback internally. So yeah, no type of pullback internally, right? Maybe I would have potentially been able to get in here, but I don't think so. I think I would have just ended up missing this. I don't think I would have had enough conviction there, just because technically we are still bearish. So I would rather just see maybe a disruption and then the move. So unfortunately, we just didn't get that, and we kind of just got a big bullish run, which went directly to TP1. And now I think I'm still anticipating this to go higher into previous high there, especially if we're looking at this from the external POV, right? Low into high, into retracement, right? And then into the retracement, we have the internal GC into the 70, and then we go up from there. And, and other than that, let's see. I'm actually going to change these here too. Um, Other than that, I do this year, I do want to start expanding a little bit into like the crypto side, see what's going on with that, and try to kind of just see if I can find any type of intraday scenarios through that, which would be these are pretty much all of the ones that I'm looking at. Let me actually I still don't have like a framework for what cryptos I'd want to look at, but I really just go to like Bybit and like Binance and look at which cryptos are being spot traded, which ones are the most popular at the time because they probably have the most liquidity. And if they have the most liquidity, then I'm able to trade them, freely without, any sizing problems. But I don't know if you guys are interested in all that stuff, but it is definitely something I do want to pay attention to for this year. But yeah, other than that, stuff does look a little interesting in terms of the what our monthlies and 6 months closures were. Like, let's look at Bitcoin. Like, this is kind of making a bit of a recovery here. Right, it's kind of making a little bit of recovery, and I am really waiting for this. This is kind of what I'm waiting for. Right, inefficiency fill, and then if we get a reaction here, I am expecting this to come back down to 70 something percent. But and that also lines up with the previous low here. So yeah, as of now, I definitely want to see this potentially go lower. And that would go across the board with everything with with Ethereum and Solana. Because if you go to 6 month, right, that is a nasty 6 month closure. That is nasty to the downside. I will say that to the downside. Especially ETH. ETH is, I think, the most convincing because we did sweep all-time high and then came back and gave a big rejection candle. But I feel like at Bitcoin, I think we're at least, we're overdue at least some type of pullback, right? And there is a small inefficiency fill here. So other than that, um, I'm expecting that to be bearish over the next 2-3 months. Dollar's interesting just because we also have, let's see, we also have um low into the high, and then we have structured transition from the weekly standpoint. So from here, I'm expecting this potentially to give us some type of sweep from the upside to the downside, and I'm expecting this to be taken out. And we're also looking back at the two previous sell to buys. But yeah, projection for this, I'm still waiting, but considering we have taken this out here, right? We did have the reversal sweep here from low into high, that's completed. But then if we go from um high into low, which would be a continuation based sweep, right? We had our dual sweep, we had our internal breaker structure, and we have the delivery coming toward the downside now. But the only thing is that we did not tap this previous POI. We kind of just barely missed it there. So right now we're kind of residing here, but I just think this order flow is a bit clean. So I'm not too interested right now in selling. I kind of want to see if maybe we can get a sweep to the downside. Right. But yeah, other than that, um, dollar, I'm not too sure on. I do think for the bigger picture, we are going to be bearish for the year, but I don't know for the medium term, just because we're kind of sitting at the equilibrium right now, so it could really go both ways. One, we have a bearish continuation to the downside, so the internal is technically bearish, but we are also within a discounted zone based on the swing high low. So right now, I'm just not really interested in a longer term bias, but if I am going to trade this internally, then it's really just going to depend on how we react from here, right? Because if we're looking at current price action, it'd be if we're looking at current price action, let me go ahead. Look at this. Right, currently is 70%. We technically broke structure here, technically broke structure there. So if I'm going just solely on price action right now, based on this break and just based on this being a buy to sell, this is technically looking a little bit bearish. But the only reason why I'm not too interested in this buy to sell is because we weren't able to sweep the high. So this could really range up. And then if it gives any type of disruption to the upside, then I would obviously aim for relative equal highs. But if I'm just going off of what price action is telling me right now, then I would assume downside movement. So yeah, other than that, not much for me. Um, I do hope you guys look forward to next Monday. I'm gonna announce our biggest giveaway ever. We're gonna be giving out 15 different prizes. Three of them which are monitors. So hopefully you guys um lock in for that. But I will be making that announcement on Friday. But the only catch is the monitors, the physical gifts, the physical items, they can only be for US clients. So because I can't risk shipping stuff like that overseas. But yeah, other than the three monitors, I'll be giving out a bunch of free stuff. Um RCV stuff. But yeah, I can't risk shipping a monitor overseas, especially when they're like $1,000 monitors. This guy said, "Oh, no one left." That's crazy. But yeah, do you guys have any questions, concerns? What have you guys been doing? How were the holidays? Could you present a model you've been working on? Sure, bro. Sure, sure, sure. A model. What do I think? I mean, this has been super bullish, so I'm just kind of there's only one thing I have to say about gold. If we look at the monthly, right? You've been moving for a long time up, but I'm not saying that I want to short this, but I'm saying that I'm going to be a little bit aware of wanting to buy this because if you look at for example, silver, very, very similar, been going up for a really long time. And if we look at the XAG, XAU, I mean, the gold silver chart basically, then this has reached a very important low. So if we start to see this give a retracement, therefore the gold will be stronger than silver. Therefore, we might see a pretty big dip in silver. Not saying that's going to crash, but just a dip in silver, and then in gold we may see consolidation. The reason why I say consolidation and not keep going up is because we're already so overextended. But therefore, if we see this kind of start to give us some consolidation, I'm going to be interested in hopefully going higher. But I can't see this. Like this is probably the lowest I could see it go is like what 3,800, 30 something hundred. I'm just not going to be bearish on this, but right now we did have a pretty big engulfing here. This is the biggest engulfing we've seen in a very, very long. I don't think you can't even see another massive engulfing like that in terms of proportion, maybe here. But other than that, I'm not bullish anymore right now, but that doesn't mean I want to sell. So I'm really uninterested. Yeah, this is clearly pretty bearish. Like break, failed to break highs, another break there, equal lows, internal order flow. So therefore, I'm expecting this to go at least there and then see what happens. Oh, but any questions, concerns, guys? Waiting for this guy to send over his model, see what he's been working on. I wonder what the model's based on. But yeah, I definitely want to start, like I said, looking into cryptos and stuff like that. Just because, if we're looking at where current trends are moving, everything is kind of going that AI route. So if everything, all the money's going to that AI route, then realistically, the next phase with AI should be blockchain technology, Web3 tech. So if we go Web3 tech, then if we start incorporating a lot of Web3 tech, then realistically, a lot of cryptos should be giving a lot of opportunity, a lot of volume, stuff like that. Like I was looking at this, it's called Hype USD. I don't even know what it is. It was on the popular chart for uh for Bybit, and I'm just like, oh, okay, let me just mark that up, see what that looks like, and they work pretty nicely. I'm not like the models work pretty nicely on here. I'm not gonna lie. Especially like if we're seeing a trend, if we're seeing a downward trend in crypto, then there should be an overall influx into other cryptos. So if we see that volume, then models should present themselves like we have high to low, high momentum, low momentum. We have extremely equal highs here. That's swept. And then we have internal bearish momentum, which you can see here. And so my bet tree would have been, oh, excuse me. Oh my gosh, excuse me. So my entry was off of the buy to sell that led to that. Actually, did it even hit? I haven't even looked at this actually. Yeah, it did hit. Yeah. So this is like textbook distribution model, right? And it's also like a textbook sweep model for me, right? Although we do have a bearish move, we didn't break the bearish leg, but we are currently ranging. And then we also have the dual sweep. If you guys have the sweep book, then you guys know what the dual sweep is. Um, dual sweep after a bearish range that supports the external POI. And then from there we get a strong reaction. So it just makes all the sense in the world to take the mitigation to the downside. So even this now, I'm really hoping this kind of just rolls over now. I'm not, I hope this does not. I don't see this coming back all the way up here. The reason, unless it's just like a sharp move, because I do note that from cryptos, we do see a lot of sharp moves. Like, for example, here we start to see bearish price action come into play. Then we have that sharp move, and then we have a solidified high here. That's giving low momentum, and then you kind of just see one big push. So really, what I want to see a lot with the cryptos is like if we see um a little bit of consolidation, impulse, and reversal. This is I forgot what this was called. That concept. I mean, I found I didn't find that concept, but I've heard people talk about it before. It's let me find it. It's called auction market theory. That's what it's called. Auction market theory. Let me show you guys. I literally saw some video with this you talking about it, but here we go. But yeah, pretty much this is I see this a lot with cryptos. Kind of like a solving inefficiencies, like consolidation, manipulation, and then impulse. So cause an imbalance into a balance. And I like to see that. I like to see that happen a lot because then usually you'll see like a quick mitigation, and then there because technically, okay, why is this not deleting? Okay, what is going on? There we go. Because usually I will see this then just be the bounce for the entire move. That's kind of why I like to trade, that trade sell to buys, buy to sells. But that's just a quick pattern that I want to see happen here a lot. But yeah, I do want to see this completely roll over. So like if we're seeing this, then I do want to see this roll over. But yeah, pretty neat. I do like cryptos and how they move. But yeah, let's just see what Victor has to say. But yeah, any more questions, guys? Anything else we've been working on? Let's see how USDCAD ended up going. Did it end up failing? Yeah, this is not going to go down. This is not going to go down. Yeah, it's 100% not going to go down. And 10. Nope. Engulf, mitigation. Yeah, let's probably keep going up. But yeah, let's see what he said. We'll wait for that to be solidified. You can catch the sell. Um, I just don't get where the model is, bro. Where is the execution? Like, where would the execution be and where would the target be? That's what I don't get. Like all these notes that you're showing me should be present in the chart itself. Because it just looks like solidified points, internal breaks, external break, POI. Let me read this again. So the model is like here or here. Because that would be two different models. The sell here is a completely different environment than buying here. Like this is considered like you could derive it as a sweep, whereas here it's more so a trend continuation because it's a break. So like there's two different scenarios here. Like the same rules in terms of the solidified points, but different environment in terms of like where it is. Like this is in the middle of a range. This is at the extreme of a range, which would be extreme of this range. I mean, I don't know what you mean by I don't know what you mean by combine them, because if you're combining them, then you're using this plus this to generate an idea that's either going to go up or down. But if you're trading this, then you're trading this, then they're two different models. For example, if you have a sweep that failed because you have an LGC here, then you would then support that. And that itself could be a model for you to justify a move to the upside or the downside, whichever one you see success with. But if you're trading both of them, then they're two different models. Because if you're trading this, let's say you're trading that, then these internal like notes that you have here don't really matter. Then the only thing that matters here would be low break because this low solidified after this break. So low into high, right? That creates a structural range. But now it can also be important if this is a bearish trend previously or if it's bullish before. I mean, bullish or bearish before. Like if this is coming from a down to the up move or this is coming from a high to a low. Because that would dictate then whether this is a continuation here from the external POV, or if we're looking at a transitionary period and this is either consolidating, right? Or this is a if this was a bullish move here before this, then we're now looking at an external pullback low and then the um confirmation of a LGC to the upside. Like that would depend a lot because here you just have a low into a high, which is there, breaking there. Yes, you can justify a sweep move there, but you can then play this internal range if you're to have a transition here. I mean, feel free to get out. You can talk to me on Zoom, bro. You don't have to like keep talking on chat, bro. Because people are probably like, what the fuck is going on? Oh, you're good. You're good. Um, yeah. So this, I'm assuming this is a buy. Like, I'm assuming you want this to buy after like a transition here internally. Okay. Then you're looking at, then this here doesn't matter. None of these notes here matter. All that matters is that maybe you are coming from a bearish move and that bearish move was transitioned, solidified, and you're looking at continuing up. Therefore, if this works from here, then TP1 is here. And then let's say there's like another high over here, then that would be TP2. Well, yeah, of course. That's with every model though, bro. The this whatever happens here is what validates the entire model or not. It's like a for example, it's like my if I'm looking at USD CAD, like if I'm looking at this here, right? Since this is failing, right? Said it would fail. Like this can like if I made a model and my model is to have a continuation trend based model where I'm looking for this to be swept, then this final step is the entire model. Like if we don't see, let's say, a full break and then a pullback move, then this entire model would never cease to work or it would never work, right? Um, but then now the issue is like, what would you define that full break to be? And is it time frame dependent? Is it and how deep of a time frame can you go? For example, like if we're looking at a swing model, then you can't really like the M1 really doesn't matter. Like if we're seeing an accumulation on H4, then it really doesn't matter what the M1 is doing. You would kind of want to stick to maybe minor intraday. So for example, if I'm on minor intraday, then realistically I want to stick to like a scalp. Well, yeah, you're not. It's not that you're repeating the whole process. It's like it's just that price is fractal. So whatever's happening externally is happening internally. Hmm. Exactly. Like that's just price fractality, bro. So I don't really get what the model is. It seems like a continuation model, but the problem now is like, is this transition enough, or do you need to see this give you a transition to then go higher? Ideally, what I just drew, what I drew the second time, that like the last drawing. Yeah, well, yeah, of course. Then you're just trading, yeah, you're just trading an LGC. Like for example, we have low to high, then let's just say that's an LGC, and therefore this entire area is your point of interest. So now here, if you have a LGC, then now you can trade it to the high. That's just the LGC model. But you're doing what you're just gonna add, like, let's say they just say like this is an M15 high. They just say it's an M15 move. Then you have an M5 transition. Then you're adding an M1 transition. That's all you're doing. You're just adding one more dimension to the OGC. That looks like what Azura posted on his video, I think. Because that model that he posted is very similar to this other guy. Yeah. That same model, if they're like that same model, like he um like it looks like this. This other guy that I don't really follow him, but I do like to stumble upon like a bunch of like I do like to watch a lot of people's content, see what people talk about and stuff. Like what Azura posted looked exactly like this, if I'm being honest, but with the addition of like solidified points. But I didn't really like this model because he doesn't use like liquidity concepts per se. Yo, go come back to the Zoom chat, bro. Stop. I'm gonna delete all your messages on there. Um, yeah, like I mean, it's not to talk bad. I'm not talking bad at all about him. Um, but when I saw that video, for one, it was very confusing. But two, it really looked like this guy's old model that he posted. I wish you could delete multiple stuff, but but yeah, I don't like how this guy explains it because he doesn't really use liquidity concepts, so it kind of some of the stuff can be contradicting. Mm, this one bounced really well. Jeez. Yeah, I didn't really get what he was explaining. It was a bit confusing. Very confusing, honestly. But I mean, the way that he teaches his people is similar to how I taught him, so like it does make sense. Like kind of does make sense. Mm. But yeah, all you're doing is let's just say let's see. Like how I would interpret what you've been saying is, let's just say we have a bullish move, then we have LGC, bullish move, and then so you have an internal range. So now you would need LGC here, and then that would be like the level three. So it's like level one, level two, level three into the upside. That's how I would interpret your model, right? Right? Does that make sense? I call it, you call it like a three level LGC. You could probably call it that. Um, which makes a lot of sense. I just usually only explain it from like a 2-level POV, just because a lot of people won't understand that third side, that third dimension. Yeah. The biggest problem is going to be how you define that internal transition. That's the hardest part. It's just like, because sometimes, let's just say you have level 1 and level 2 aligned, but like let's say here we have a bounce. So here, even if we have a transition or a bullish move to the upside, this could still fail to the downside. That's the only problem with trying to trade like 3 dimension, like I'll call it a 3 dimensional LGC. Um, because when you want all of the levels to align, then it now becomes a lot of difficult with getting this type of opportunity to come up on a frequent basis, if that makes sense. You a lot of times you'll see this stuff fail because you want to wait for everything to align, which is something that I wanted to try to do a long time ago, but the result is always going to be a small, either you take way less trades or you take more losses. It's one of the two. But yeah, you're on the right track though. You're on the right track. And then once you scale up your capital and your stuff like that, like you really won't even need that third dimension. Um, but yeah, guys, also, I guess before we hop off, unless people have more questions, this is complete. Uh, right, for my members, or actually for the public, this is complete. Um, I will be releasing this on Monday. I'm just trying to figure out the best way to deliver it. Um, but I'm still trying to figure that out. But I should be out by Monday. And then for my private members, this is like the free add-on that I promised you guys here. Right, this is a free cheat sheet, so this will be 100% free for all of my members. I'm not gonna sell this online. This is specifically for people in the private group. Um, and I go over like a couple of things. Like I think I showed you guys the table of contents before, but if anybody's watching this from the group, then you see that. But yeah, other than that, this is the kind of like the table of contents for the LGC model. I made it a bit long, like it's pretty long. It's like 20 pages, I think. 22 pages. So yeah. I didn't make. I think I made. Oh yeah, I did make the LGC blueprint in Spanish too. So I'll be posting that to the Spanish channel. But yeah, do we have any more questions, concerns, guys? What would you say is the biggest strength that does different from the playbook? I mean, the playbook the playbook is obviously like the best. It depends which playbook you're talking about, bro. We have three blueprints. It's like the fundamental, the enduro, which is version 1, and then the sweep. So like if you're talking about
I'm talking about
the version
in
1.
version 1, and then you just said it covers a little bit of the suite. Not the fundamentals though. I know the fundamentals is a whole nother subject.
Mm-hmm. I mean, the LGC blueprint is like I guess you would call it the updated. Like I didn't really hold anything back. Let me actually open that up right now. I'm gonna open that up right now and see what we say on that one.
And my other question, I have one more question. I'm really excited about what you were showing me about the correlating pairs last time you were making that cheat sheet last time, or
Oh
the
yeah. That's in the cheat sheet. Yeah.
oh, that's gonna be crazy.
Mm-hmm. Like the three things on there. I mean, I found something called the Enneagram chart, which is it's like a personality trait thing where you take certain tests and you get a result on this is the type of Enneagram that you are. And based on that Enneagram, there's like specific points telling you that these are your strengths and this is kind of how you go about learning. And if you resonate with that, then if you're tied to that type of identity on the Enneagram, then it helps me teach you in a better way, if that makes sense. But also it'll help you teach yourself in a better way, because a lot of people talk about like, oh, if you know how you learn, you can improve and stuff like that. And I used to say that too, but that's just too broad. So that's like one of the main things. It's like figuring out how you learn. And then based on how you learn, these are the techniques that you should go about to learn things. And that's just not trading related. That's like in general. But then the second part was the correlation stuff, asset correlation. So I went through like the past 5 years of data, and these are all of the pairs that correlate the most, whether they correlate together or oppositely, right? Whether it's a positive, negative correlation, and it shows you like which ones are the best. And like it weirdly enough, like obviously like people know that NQ and S&P correlate, but did you know that S&P and US 30 have a bigger correlation than S&P and NQ? Really interesting. You'll see that on there. But it's just data. And then the third part is volume distribution, which is like based on all of the momentum of all of the pairs for the past 5 years, 5.5. This pair has moved this amount during uh has moved this amount during this session, but I've also broken it down to I'm also going to break it down to like months, like during the month of X, these were the stats during the quarter of Q1 of 2021. These were the results. Um, but yeah, let me actually open that up so we can. I'm not going to show it, but that's part three, and then part four is like daily cycles. It's like uh, if I if I narrow price down to three things that I can do, it can consolidate, it can impulse, or it can manipulate. So it can consolidate, it can impulse, or it can manipulate. Then I built daily cycle um profiles, I guess is the word. Profiles that if this and this combination happen, then realistically you could look at this, and this is the statistical amount based on all pairs. And I actually think I did that also, divided that by the assets. It like certain crosses or certain assets, like one of these profiles happens more. Um, like for example, yeah, I have like consolidation to impulse is like the biggest edge, and you're kind of expecting a continuation for New York. And just stuff like that. But yeah, that's kind of like the four big things on there. And then I also included like a bunch of uh a bunch of notes that I've taken on like over the past couple of years, like just like a quick one, just a free like just let me see, one that might like I talked about scaling, the importance of transitions, avoiding news releases, um acknowledging sweep. So like I talked about every single model there too. So I made like model sequences on that one too. So yeah, there's a bunch of stuff on here. I just gotta add like one or two more things and it's done. Bro, how do you even know all this stuff? I mean, what do you mean? What do you mean? How do I know all this stuff? Like you gotta ask questions, bro. You gotta ask questions and you gotta go figure it out. Like people tell you, uh, people tell you to trade certain pairs during certain sessions, but you gotta ask why. Like, why would I do that outside of what you're telling me? So like that's what I did with the volume distribution stuff. It's just like, okay, if I cannot, um, if people are telling me that I should trade USD pairs during New York session, like obviously, duh, like because it's the New York session, it's the US session. But like, how right is that? Like for one, is that right? Two, how right is it? And three, how can I like at least try to get some type of validation for it? Like, how do I validate that? So I got all the data for all the pairs and I just ran it through tests. Like, you just got to ask questions, bro, and you got to go figure it out. Like, it's not that I know, it's just like if I hear something and I just believe it just to believe it, then once it fucks me over, then or if I get a bad result from it, then that's entirely my fault. So I have to ask questions. So and also it's stuff like I've been doing this for 8 years. You know what I mean? Like Like I may not know everything, but now I can at least say that, hey, if I hear something, then I can at least figure out how to go figure it out if it's right or wrong. But it also it's depending on a lot of things. Like it obviously varies. You just gotta ask questions. Like, but that's also I'm probably gonna make some of that stuff like some of the stuff in the cheat sheet. I might make that into like a different lead magnet, like the volume distribution one. I definitely want to give that out as like a different PDF. Um, just so people can know. Like for example, like if somebody asks you like when is the ideal time to trade UJ, like what would you guys say? What would you guys say is the best time to trade UJ?
Probably like 7 p.m. Eastern
What session?
for Japan, Tokyo session,
Sure. So what about USD CAD?
New York,
Exactly.
7.
Okay, sure. What about let me throw you a curveball. Let me see. What about AJ? I mean EJ, sorry.
EJ,
Yeah.
either London or leading up late hours, probably like 9. But you could probably get your
Which one do you think is which one? You gotta pick one.
sheesh. I would do it 11 p.m. Because I'm probably coming off of manipulation into looking for a setup into
But
London.
you're going off of Euro and Japanese, right? But actually, based on the data, overlap is the best time to trade EJ.
Mhm.
You see
That's
what I'm
fair.
saying? So yeah, you see what I'm saying? So like it's good to note this stuff. Like AJ, let me confirm that for you. Oh wow. So AJ, it's Asia session number one, but it's literally tied with overlap. But
Mm.
the ratios aren't too like too big. Like for example, there's only one pair, and that's why I asked about UJ. Like for example, if you trade EJ, it's you get 28% of the volume in Asia, you get 19% of the volume in London, you get 28% of the volume, which is pretty much equal during overlap, and during late New York, you get 17%. Whereas with UJ is the only one that's like this. You get 68% of the volume traded during Asia session, all the Asia markets. That's just for UJ. That's the only one that had that number. And like I couldn't have known that unless I like did the research, you know what I mean? But yeah, it's just it's good to note this stuff. It's just like it's also why I did the daily cycle stuff. Like if price can only do three things, one, two, three, or right? Obviously you could do it like it could be a bullish or bearish impulse, right? Or a manipulation to the upside or manipulation to the downside. Did you even learn from Fabio Valentini? Who the fuck is that? Who is that? What's his Instagram? Who is who is that? Hold on. Oh, I don't know who that is, bro. I don't know who that is. Um, who is he on YouTube? Fabio. No, 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 no. You're good. You're good. No, 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 no. I'm not mad, bro. Fabio. Is this him? You got the Heinz returns on the Robbins Cup. I actually don't know who this is. Oh, this guy was on. Oh, this is that scalper guy. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I've seen some of his stuff before. You know, I've never learned from this guy. He looks like he knows what he's talking about there. On the small stuff that I have seen. That's where I first learned about inefficiency. Yeah, he's like a very, very short-term scalper. And I think he's on the future side. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I've never heard of this guy. I mean, I have like seen him like on some stuff, but yeah, I don't know much about him. I think I saw him on some like live trading video. I think this one maybe. But yeah, he looks like he knows what he's talking about. No, bro, don't be sorry, bro. Like who is I was just like, who is that? I've never heard of that guy. But I do like to surf through YouTube and see what people talk about, see what people do. Because once you get to a point where you know your model and you trade it, um, it's a lot safer to try to look at other people's stuff because it won't directly influence you. It's just really once you understand knowledge, then you understand that you don't have all the knowledge, so you want to go look for more knowledge, but that doesn't mean that you have to use it. So I understand that I don't know everything, but I like the subject of trading, so I'm gonna go look at other people who trade. Whether it's good or bad doesn't really matter to me. It's just a different perspective because I'm still gonna trade how I trade. Oh wow, this actually dropped from here. Interesting. I feel, but sometimes I just be watching these big one-on-one mentorship guys to see how they teach. Yeah, but you can't. You also have to have a balance with it. And I mean, if it really just depends on how you respond. It depends on how you respond. Like if you're directly influenced by something that you hear on social media, then it may not be ideal to do that. You know what I mean? It might not be ideal to um to watch a bunch of stuff. But like I'm deep into this, so like I don't really care, and like people like I don't really care to learn those people's stuff. But if they show something that's different, then I'm interested because that's the only way I'm gonna expand my reach or my knowledge is if I see people do it or see people break a belief that I have and then use that to configure it and make it my own. It takes time practice not to let outside. Yeah, exactly. It takes a lot of time. That's why I also don't like to. I like for a long time. I don't even like looking at. I didn't even like looking at the Discord while I'm trading because I like realistically like I really don't care what other people's opinions are or what others' biases are. So like it might just be better for me to just not look at those biases. So while you're trading, maybe you don't want to see other people's biases. So therefore, just turn the apps off and just trade. But definitely a challenge that I'm gonna do for myself this year is I definitely want to start journaling again. Um, I want to figure out what my main losses are. At least have proof of it because I have a general idea of what it is. But start tracking that stuff again and seeing if I can find my consistent loser of the year and and then build a model, maybe or maybe alter a model based on that. Because like my models are relatively straightforward, like they're relatively basic. I mean, I wouldn't say basic. It's only basic if you already understand solidified points, structural ranges, etc. So like whether it's like LGC, let's just say, right, we have this is like the general gist of the model. So if we wanted to add stuff to the LGC model, then it would be more so adding a different level, right? Adding an external level, and let's just say this is like this, right? And let's just say here, right? Shitty drawing, but whatever. But like, let's say you add like kind of like what Victor was talking about, where you add like a third dimension to the model. And maybe it doesn't have to be an internal level of structure. It could be maybe an external level of structure. Like if we're trading minor intraday here, hmm, like if we're trading maybe minor intraday and scalp, right? Then we don't necessarily have to then look for a micro model. Maybe what if we add a major intraday model, like like I just did with the external, and maybe that could give the scalp another longer target rather than trying to maximize the move between minor intraday and scalp. I hope that makes sense. But like the point is like I want to see what the losses are and why to then add or delete stuff from the models to make them more effective. That's kind of like the point. Because a traditional sweep used to just be a right? It used to be just a let's just say a failed transition here, or then maybe there's um OFD or a structural disruption here, which means that all the sweep model was is either an SD or an OFD, but with the added dimension of having the external or having a internal range be taken out, right? So the sweep was the refinement of the SD and OFD. But then once I created the implied sweep, which is like if we go based on engulfings, right, that could only have happened if I found the alterations to create the sweep, if that makes sense. So the only way I'm going to keep progressing or keep making my models more efficient is if I start tracking why they lose. Because I can track the winners all day long, but if I don't track how they lose, then I can't really I don't really know what to fix. Right. Hopefully that rat makes sense. But what's the question? Oh, that's a great question, bro. Let me tell you something, bro. Let me tell you something right now. Like the number one thing a motherfucker can have that will get him to the top is conviction. Conviction is everything. If you have self confidence in yourself, bro, you could do anything in your life, bro. And it took me way too long to realize that, bro. Don't be nice to motherfuckers. Trust in yourself. Be confident in yourself. That's the only thing that's going to get you to the top. That's the only thing that's going to bring success in your life. Being, having conviction. That's it. That is the only thing in life that matters, bro. Let me tell you that. That took me years to figure out, bro. I don't care. Like, bro, like he said it himself in one of his videos. Like, you don't have to be smart for this shit. No, you don't. Clearly, you don't. Like, you don't have to be smart, bro. You just have to have a conviction. You have to have some confidence in yourself. And he built that conviction through the gym, you know? But that's what really matters, bro. Like you can. It doesn't matter how you look at these charts, but you have conviction in your setup, and you can consistently take that setup, and you can note that setup, and then fix that setup over time. Then you will realistically be profitable. That's kind of like the gist. You either have confidence or you build it, and then you refine. But that is the only thing. But obviously, like you can't really say that because like from a business POV, if I say that, then like it kind of hurts the business. But I don't give a shit. Like whatever. Like because really that's the only secret like to life. Really, like that's how you build your own reality is just by having conviction and having the ability to ask questions. Like I don't know if you guys have like a really if like you guys have like a really good corporate job or anything like that. But if you guys have like a really good corporate job and you're really good at your job, you will never get the credit that you deserve, especially the higher you go, because the guys at the top do not want to lose you because they don't want to lose you. If you're really good at what you do, they want to keep you there forever because you benefit them. You feel me? But like it's a greed thing. It's greedy. It's greedy. But I mean, they have to do that because they also want to keep their jobs. You know what I mean? So like if you want to escape that technically, if you want to reframe the reality, it's just one, you gotta have confidence in yourself. Two, you gotta be able to ask questions and shit. You might want to walk away if you need to. Like I've had to walk away from a lot of people, a lot of opportunities because of shit I don't agree with. Haven't been able to get a manager promotion and been stuck in my senior analyst role for what exactly, bro? And if you be 100% honest with me, bro, are you good at your job? Exactly. So it doesn't make sense, bro. It doesn't make sense once you get a let's say a manager or like a regional position and you become really good at what you do, your higher up doesn't want to give you that credit because one, he may be at risk. He might be at risk of you taking him over, or two, you're so good at your job that you probably do more for your job than you're getting paid for. So it doesn't make sense for them to want to give you that credit, give you that promotion. You feel me? And that's not like a that's just like a psychology thing, you know? I mean, I don't understand how he does it, but I mean, I really don't care. I really like I reached out to him, you know what I mean? I reached out to him as a friend, like, yo, like let's collab. Like I see you got your thing going, like I taught you for free, like let's collab. But I don't like I never really got a response. But I'm like, okay, whatever. Because the guy that I met him through actually scammed me last year. Scammed me crazy. And that became like a lawsuit and every it was a big mess. Like, yeah. The guy that I met Azra with, he scammed me crazy. But yeah, man, he kind of just got what he wanted, and I don't really talk to him much anymore. But I do wish him the best, bro, because he's one of the select few people that I've seen in my lifetime come from a similar background as me and like actually be self-made. You don't meet many self-made people in your life. I'll tell you that. So there's never no hate. But I should have charged him, you know? Like I mean, I don't know, bro. I don't ask for people's results. I don't ask for my students' results, bro. Like for example, like you have a you have one of the guys in the call right now, bro. He's been with me for years and he's like finally seeing that success. But I don't ask him to show me that. Like if he wants to show me that, bro, I'm extremely grateful and I love to see stuff like that. Um but I don't really ask for it. Like if he did good or not, I don't know, bro. But I mean I have text messages like yeah, bro, like you gotta understand too, bro. It's just like the the mentorship business it makes more sense. It makes a lot more money if you show the lifestyle of it. But his job was being a promoter. I don't know if he still is, but he was a promoter out there. You know what I mean? So he has access to all the lifestyle. So he really could, you know, leverage that to get so much money from mentorship and stuff like that without even needing the trade. Like being a good trader doesn't necessarily mean you get the biggest audience. You know what I mean? So just let that sink in. Like it's so hard to build an audience on this stuff because I don't want to do what other people do. You know what I mean with what people do with like promotion and stuff. But it's something I am going to get into this year, just making more content, cutting up these YouTube videos, you know, and posting clips of it because I do think there's been valuable small lessons. Yeah, to be honest, the trading niche has shifted more into the info space than learning concepts and practicing the content. I mean, what do you mean by info space? Because they're kind of one in the same. They kind of one in the same. Because the info space is not going away anytime soon. Yeah, like the info space. If you guys want to see a really cool video on info space, I'm gonna link it in the chat. If you guys want to see a really cool video on where info is going, the guy that made Patreon, oops, the guy that made Patreon, uh, actually, hold on, here we go. The guy that made Patreon, he sent me this, or the guy that I mean, he didn't send me this. He had this seminar. Let me show you guys. Well, bro, they're made in both ways, bro. They're made in both ways. It's just one the issue with trading is that there is no one way. There is no one guaranteed way to get to X amount of money. But there is one guaranteed way to become a very good content creator because it's been done multiple times by many people. That's the issue. It's just like your gut feeling isn't isn't that the money's only to be made in one way. It's just that it's way harder in one way. It's easier to do it one way, not in terms of how much effort it may take, but because you have a much clearer path. So I really watched this video and I really liked it. If you guys want to watch this, I really liked it because what he talked about in this video is really, really interesting, and it's gonna shape how I go about this year in terms of the community. Like the people that are on right now, you guys have been on here with me for like over an hour. You know what I mean? And he talks about something really interesting. I need to find it. I'm not gonna play it, but I'm just gonna show you guys. So, fucking hell, fucking hell. Like social media caters to this, right? Having reach, and then you have your following, and then obviously that's how you guys are like with me in like in the Discord and stuff. Like the people from Discord are my following based on the reach that I get from social media. But true fans, like true people, true members are the people like you guys that are like in my Zooms on a regular basis. You know what I mean? You guys are the most valuable people to my business, quote unquote. Right. So I want to cater to you guys, and I also want to figure out how to find more of you guys because the connection between a true fan and a creator is probably the most valuable thing about a business. Because if I can scale that, then there's no way I don't succeed in info. Does that make sense? But like that's just this is really interesting, especially if you guys like care to like get into the info space or like anything like that. That's a great video. And it also shows you um where the direction of social media is going. Like that's from the guy who made Patreon, by the way. Jack Conte, I think is his name. But yeah, very interesting. Research is all we have, brother. Like, I do like right now, the only things I watch on YouTube is like stuff like this that the owner of Cove that I'm working with, he sent me that. Um, I really only watch stuff like that he sends me, and I follow this philosophy guy. I follow a lot of philosophy people, but I really like this guy because I'm really seeing him blow up, and the stuff that he talks about is deep, but I resonate with it because I think it's just true. Like this guy went like I think he has like a he doesn't have his, he does not have his social media on here. Sorry. Um, but I found him on Instagram through a reel, and he was just talking real shit, and I'm like, who is this guy? So I've just been following him ever since.
Now I seen them
Uh,
too say like really philosophical shit sometimes, or like some shit to just really ponder,
mhm.
but ever like a niche based, like he's his own niche because he'll just think of whatever topic comes to his mind and expound on it.
Exactly. That's what every creator is. Every creator technically is his own niche, unless they copy everybody else. So like, if I can bring stuff like this and like other different ideas into like the trading space, then I could build my own niche. And it's all very beneficial to everybody because there is no way someone comes through my channel, consistently sits around here and like either gets on Zooms or watches videos or stuff like that. There's no way you don't get at least one thing out of it. So now I just want to make everything that I put out at least semi valuable to everybody. But yeah, that's like a complete like side turn of what we were talking about. Are you a co-owner? Yeah, I'm an owner. Yeah. I'm not gonna tell you how much equity I have, but yeah, I'm an owner. Cove is gonna be really cool, guys. Once it we just I got images of what our beta is gonna look like. We're gonna come out with a web app. I mean a web app, an actual application, sorry. Mm, Here you go. This is kind of what our app is gonna look like. So we want to make a high security wallet that's multi-chain, ease of use, and then we also want to have the AI side, which is like pretty much a type of chat GPT, a type of chat GPT that is only for Web3. Like if you guys you Play with it a couple of times. It's interesting, different from ChatGPT. Yeah, no, it's not. I mean, it wasn't even made on ChatGPT. Like, I'll just tell you that it was not even made on ChatGPT. The protocols themselves are all unique. Like, we made them ourselves. And let me actually let's. I'll show you guys right now if you guys want me to ask it something. But the beta launch releases soon. Mm, I need to update my computer, man. This is my app. My thing has been lagging lately. Anyways, but yeah, it's very unique because eventually we want to kind of build a brain, if that makes sense, using all of the data and input that we get from Cove um to then build decentralized finance apps with it. If you guys know what those are, but let me ask you a question. Like, we do some sort of meetup for RCV fans. I mean, I don't know, bro. I don't know. I did it for the private group in like 2021. It was cool. It was cool. But I don't think I have enough of an audience to do that again. Like, I wouldn't want to meet and then I don't know, like I'm not trying to have like a bodyguard with me either. Like, I would hope people don't have grudges against me. But yeah, this is really neat. This is really neat. Actually, like something I'm gonna focus on like in Q1 is uh I'm definitely we're looking for more investors for sure. Not looking for many, but like a couple. Just to make sure we can sustain operations and then kind of expand. And then put a lot of money into marketing. But yeah. This is still I'm still trying to improve this stuff. And I'm also trying to like incorporate like my indicator and like scraping off of like Reddit and stuff like that to try to build the bias side of this, like the trading agent, which would give you a bias and like what we're looking at, projections and stuff like that. Um, because this is like all based on live data. But yeah, if you guys want to screenshot this or just look back at the recording, then um yeah, you see, and then based on the different liquidity providers that we have access to, then we can analyze like the actual data of each asset within that network. Okay, oh, this is neat. Like, how do I? It's pretty cool, pretty cool. But yeah, I'm definitely gonna start pushing this more once our beta releases, which should be within like the next month or two. Mm. And other than that, literally like the goals for this year are just expand RCV and grow Cove. And then like everything with Assive is still working fine. We kind of turned off the bots for this month. Well, like since like the 14th. So I'm looking to collaborate with a couple of brokerages, but that's like I'm not gonna be publicizing that too much. Like That's my like little money machine that I'm gonna keep on the DL. And like also like in the trading niche, it's really hard to ask for money in terms of like if I wanted to open it up to people, like there's not much benefit for me on that side of stuff. But yeah, guys, do you have any more questions or like concerns or anything? But yeah, man, what did you think about what did you think about a Cove? Did you try out the alpha? That was our alpha release. That's like our alpha version. I think we have like a meeting tomorrow, or not tomorrow, Monday, um, just to try to game plan. But I have a lot of, I have a big vision for that project though. That's why I'm. It's like one of the only projects I'm investing in. Like I don't really, excuse me, I don't really invest in startups. It's burned me a lot in the past, but this is when I have a lot of faith in. More so because I have a lot of faith in the owner or in like the head guy, the CEO. Like I don't know if you guys have ever seen like these memes or like these like videos and stuff where it's like if you ever find like a super nerdy guy who's like deep in crypto and he's like talking to you about it, like keep that motherfucker around. Like that guy probably knows some shit. Like I found a guy like that that's older. So like bro, like I am at your disposal. What do you need? Cuz I call these people thinkers. Like if you ever meet a guy who's like a legit thinker, those guys are one of they're very like one of a kind, bro. If you find a guy who's a thinker, and you'll know when you meet him, you know when you'll meet someone who's a thinker. And if you ever meet a real thinker, bro, do not keep that person around. I don't know how to I don't know how to like conceptualize that idea of what a thinker is, but it may be something I'll look into because there's definitely terms for it. The best thinker I know. Lit Nomad. I've heard of this guy before. Um oh, that guy, the quant guy. Yeah. I mean, I don't like a lot of his stuff, bro. I think I like people who stay unbiased that put it like that. Like some of his ideas are very red pill, and I think red pill is like pretty dangerous, especially for men who are growing up. But like there's a like he talked about like why he's not married and stuff, and some of his reasons were kind of silly to me. He no, it's not about being too brutally honest. It's just like I can tell when someone's been hurt. I can tell when someone has a lot of pain, you know? And I would just like I wouldn't want to be biased, especially about stuff like that, because when I'm 26, but like two, like I don't know, bro. Like I don't want to share my misery with people. Like, you know what I mean? Like I just think that's not fair. Yeah, bro. Like, yeah. Like I'm definitely like I'm in my thoughts a lot, but like I don't want to share that with people. I don't want people to share that pain. Like, fuck that. Like, who am I to want to give you that pain for one, you know? Ugh, this one was such a. I'm so pissed about this, man. I'm so pissed I didn't get an opportunity on this. But yeah, no. He's smart. He's very smart, but he's not what I define as a thinker. I mean, think of an example because the only thinkers I've met have been in real life, like in person. Like I met this guy who's like a multi-millionaire, well, not multi-millionaire, like super millionaire that he sold company in his life, and he also inherited a bunch of money in his life. And he lives like in a nice penthouse here in Dallas, and I'll go to his spot here and there. and the guy's miserable. Like, guy's miserable. Like, he just has nothing left to work for. Like, you know what I mean? Like, usually the thinkers that I meet are very miserable because either you find something to like throw that energy into, or you don't. And if you have no purpose, if you have nothing to throw that energy into, then you have no purpose. You're gonna be miserable. A man with no purpose is useless. I'll tell you that. So I'm looking for purpose all the time. I'm looking for something to work toward. Like, I'm too young to not, you know? Exactly. Yeah, 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 yeah. Because the issue, something that people don't understand is like I said with conviction, if you if I say something with a lot of conviction, you're more keen to believe it. Whereas somebody who sounds very doubtful in what he's saying, you probably won't believe what he's saying. So it doesn't really matter what I say. If I say it with a convincing enough tone, then you might believe it. And that's like a problem. That's a big problem. Because like I'll even fall for stuff like that too. If somebody says something that I don't know about that comes off with high conviction, like I might believe it and not even question it. Like because there's a lot of beliefs that people that we have that we never even think to question. I'm not gonna say what, but like I'm sure you know there's things that you don't question. Like I'm not gonna get into that. I'm not gonna get into that. Find value in unbiased information, ask questions, do some research. Because the only thing that you can legitimately prove is like your personal experiences. That's the only thing you can legitimately prove. Yeah, 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 yeah. The only unbiased opinions are science based, sure. Until you get to like the biblical side and like the religious side of stuff, then it gets real complex. At the end of the day, you can't really know about stuff, like about a lot of stuff. There's not you can't really know 100%. And that's just one of those things you got to accept. But I am really pissed about this though. Because this is a positive swap trade. Like RCV philosophy. Brother, I am nobody to give philosophical stuff to. Like, don't get me wrong, like I have a good little book collection. I'll recommend like a book or two. Like this is the book that I'm gonna get like this month, I think. Let me show you. Um this is a book I'm getting this month. I've heard too many people tell me this is like one of the best books they've ever read. And it's by Dostoevsky. But if anybody wants a good book to read, like if you just it's expensive if you want to get a hard copy. But it's trust me, it's expensive for a fucking reason. It's this. I'm not even gonna show it. Like if you're in a chat, you get it, and if you don't, you don't. That book will change your life. That this is hands down the best book I've ever read in my life. I'm still reading it too. Like it's like five books in one. That's why it's expensive. It's like a $60 book. But yeah, it's like opinions are tough to talk about, bro. They're very hard. They're very very hard to talk about. But it's like it's but like the social media favors those who are polarizing, those who have because that creates attention, which creates revenue for the social media. The Way of the Superior Man, I've heard about it, but I mean, it's not really like my book of tea. I've heard about it. I chose not to get it though.
LOL. My next question was really going to be like, what draws your interest the most in books? Because I literally, that's just something I started last year, but it now is something I can keep up. But like, what genres interest you the most? Because
Improvement philosophy.
yeah, I see that.
Um, I also want to get myself like a Bible. That's definitely something I want to read. Um, I want like because like I was raised Catholic, so I'm gonna get like my my Bible, and then I also want to read like an Ethiopian Bible, just to expand the perspective. Like I don't ever want to be too pulled too much to one side. I want to be open, but I also want to be secure in what I believe in. So I actually got this book recently too. It's just what is it? Hold on. This I just got. And then like I like reading some physics stuff too. The ESV John MacArthur study book. Send me a link, bro. Send me a link personally. Or text
Like
it to me. I think you have my number.
you give me metaphysics.
Metaphysics is the one I typed in, the one I put in there. The guy studied metaphysics. Oh, I mean, and quantum stuff too. I think I don't know. I like this book because I resonate with it, and just like I like go with what my attention is drawn to. Like this is there's like this image. Um, that I saw I forget what it was. This this is like the biggest telltale of if somebody is intelligent or not. This is like the biggest, I guess, metric that you could use. It's like, can someone think about what it is that they're thinking and why? And can you alter that? That really shows me how smart someone really is. This is, I guess, what I would call a thinker. Anything tied to metacognition. I haven't dove too much into the topic though, but this is uh this is something I'm diving into a lot this year. How do I change my thinking? How do I reframe my thinking? And then because that inevitably will change my reality. Yeah, sure, sure. I think how do I put it? Without getting too deep into the rabbit hole. Who made the first choice to win, brother? Read a Bible. Read a Bible. Because we live in crazy times, bro. This AI stuff is really gonna ramp up over the next like 10 years. And like I really like the only prediction I will make is like the middle class will probably cease to exist like over the next like 10, 15 years. It's either you understand and you're able to and you're
I
able
seen a
to do
newsletter that
something about it.
said eliminating the middle class.
Hmm? What?
No, I was saying I read an article that said eliminating the middle class is basically the next World War III.
Probably. Probably. Because like all that matters like just by like hearing that all that matters is like what is coming, how do I benefit from it, and how do I get my people on the other side. That's all that matters like to me personally. I don't care about choosing sides. I just want to be on the winning side. That's all I care about, because that's what's gonna, for one, it's gonna help the next generation that I bring, and it's gonna also justify all the shit that my parents had to go through for me to be here today. Like I'll be damned, bro, if like my parents did all their shit for me to fuck up, you know. Oh, well, bro, it's not really that the upper class wants to keep you down. That's part of the problem. Like it's not that they want to keep you down. It's just once you start meeting these people, you're really gonna see like these guys aren't really that bad of people. But obviously, like if you go higher up in the totem pole, probably. But a lot of people, they aren't really like that. They just have more information than you do, and they're able to apply it at a decent time. Like that's why they are where they are. Like Don't think of them as like people. Don't put them on a pedestal. You know what I mean? Like they're not really like the rich aren't really as evil as you think. Like if anything, these guys want to help people, but a lot of people just can't get out of like that small early mindset that people have. It's where it begins, bro. It's where it begins. At least being aware that there's a lot of information out there that you don't know yet. It's where it begins. Like unfortunately, like not everybody can make it, but I'm gonna bring as many people as I can with me, and that's bottom line. But yeah, man, and also like I welcome that so that that way, if I meet someone who is maybe ahead of me under a different circumstance, under different experiences, then maybe, just maybe, we connect on a deeper level, and now I made a really good lifelong friend. But more than likely, it's not gonna be that way. Most people are gonna fuck you over, if I'm being honest with you, because people don't understand how much abundance there is in this life. So yeah, man, be welcoming, be open, be good to people, but understand that people will take advantage of it. You give people a centimeter, they take a mile. But I will not let that withhold me from still being who I am and still trying to help as many people as I can and trying to expand my knowledge, my POV, etc. If that makes sense. Because something I'm starting to note too, this may be like false, but a lot of this new generation of traders, they're starting to catch on a little bit faster. And I think it's because, for example, like people who are my age, we were when we were still like in middle school and like high school once technology really started to ramp up, like Instagram, Snapchat, all social media started to come up and become a thing. Whereas the new generation, like the people that are in high school right now, they've had it all their lives. So maybe they catch on to stuff quicker. I don't know. I don't know. But it's just something I've noticed. A lot of this new generation of traders, like they're maybe because they're more impressionable and they can probably figure stuff out a little bit quicker. I don't know what it is, but I'm seeing them catch on a little bit faster than the previous generation. So I'm really interested to see if if I can leverage that idea somehow later on. Like having an army of like 15, 16 year olds now that end up being like 2021 once I'm like 30, like bro, those guys are gonna be fucking monsters. Those guys are gonna be killers, man. I mean, Ezra wasn't involved in that, bro. Ezra wasn't involved in that issue, bro. I mean, I've been scammed before, bro. Like, cool, man. Appreciate you for hopping on, Brian. I'll see you next time. But no, Azra wasn't involved in that, bro. He wasn't involved. But I met Azra through that guy that scammed me crazy. Maybe I'll talk about it in like a year. But probably by then it won't even be relevant to me anymore. I don't really care now, even though it was like pretty bad. Yeah, bro. This new generation is these guys like I'm down as fuck to invest in these like 16, 17-year olds. Like for example, if like there's I don't know if it was you, but there was this other guy that I think was from Azrael's channel or something, and he was like 17, bro. Motherfucker was in my Zoom during class. Like, bro, I used to be in college, like looking at charts, watching shit. I didn't pay attention in class. So like to see that next generation, like those are the people I want to invest in. Those are the people that I want to build up because those guys not only they're it's early enough for them to not be like I guess attached to bad habits, like especially not any crazy habits. But they're old enough to think for themselves, and like, and if they want more at that certain age, then shit, like let's go. Like I had this guy, like I said, 17 years old, like was in class, like on my Zoom. I'm like, bro, don't ever pay me a dime. Like just keep going. Just keep going. Don't ever pay me a dime because you probably don't even have a dime to begin with. Because at that age, I didn't have shit. Um, but those are the people that I want to see succeed in the long run, because those are going to be the next generation of creators, the next generation of people who are going to build some crazy shit. The best resource in life right now is the next generation, the attention of that next generation. Where that attention is, that's where the money's going. On the whole media running thing, yes, bro. Yeah. 100%. Bro, social media consumption is down 10% this year or 2025. 10%. That's crazy. That means that people, it's shit's gonna shift. And that's what he talks about. That's what the guy talks about in that video I showed you guys earlier. Um, did I put it in the chat? Uh, this one. I'll go ahead and send this right now in the group chat. I mean, in the group chat, in the Zoom chat. This is a great video to see where info is going, where content creation is going, and stuff like that. But more than anything, like I don't know, by the time I'm 30, some people are gonna be like 21 and they're gonna be like at the top of their game. Because I launched RCV when I was 21, by the way. Like the 2 days after I turned 21. So like I want to see what someone that has much more access to shit than I did. Because back then, bro, it was even hard to get like a website designer and like a logo designer and stuff like that. Compared to now, you can do that shit instantly with AI. There's much more resource around, much more tools that can really benefit. So like I want to see what the new me at 21 can do today. And those are the people that I want to invest in, because those guys are gonna be fucking killers, man. And like I don't know, man. You like the path was paved to me from a family who came from nothing. So like, why not pave the way for people like that? You know what I mean? Info education business in a year or two for what? For trading? I would recommend you not get into the info space for trading. I definitely think like it's just too saturated these days. It's really hard to build an audience. But the only reason why I'm still in it, like, um, is because I've just done it for so long. Like I've known this. I've been in this for too long. Like I would not want to learn from somebody who's only been trading for 2 years, because they don't even know if they're profitable yet. And like, even though you think you are profitable at the moment, like they're not necessarily lying, but like there's some things that you just pick up over time. Like I could have a bad year this year and my model would still work the next year. But like if you've only been trading for 2, 3 years, like you may not have had that experience yet. Like if it's just been all the way up, then eventually there'll be a bad year. And how will you respond to that bad year? That's very important. And then if you see success, like how will you respond when you see success? Like will you see like will you get into bad habits? Like will you get comfortable? You know what I mean? But yeah, I'm definitely the only thing I really need to find this year though is I need to find a really good content guy. Like I'd be willing to teach someone like that for free. Like I've been getting deep into AI and stuff, trying to build workflows and agents for content creation. So like if I can make that super easy for someone who wants to help me with that, that would be cool. But yeah, unless you guys have some more questions, we can go ahead and wrap it up here. Yeah, I mean, yeah, bro. Look at Alex Ramosi. Motherfucker, he promoted a book for 2 years. 2 to 3 years. He promoted his book. And in 3 days, he revenued over $100 million. that is crazy. Obviously, like there's a lot of costs that came to like me, and like even if you made 50% margins off of that, crazy. But like that wasn't the point. He promoted that book so he can make sales on the book, but also that whole entire promotion built a big portion of his brand. Like it's like the revenue model. It's like the webinar model.
I bought it actually. He was
Yeah,
selling
I did
all
too. I
three
did
for
too, bro.
10.
I did too, bro.
He
Like
sold all
I
three for 10. I was like, wow.
yeah, I have all three
Hardcover.
books, bro. Yeah, I have all three books. They're right here on my shelf.
Yeah, and I know he masterminded that whole thing.
Bro, that was all by design. Let me tell you something, bro. The super successful things that happen or that people do, it's not by chance. It's by design. This bro, and then once you get even deeper into like the rabbit hole and stuff like that, this entire system that we live in is by design. All of it's by design. It's just information that you need. And we're lucky to see people like him give the information up for free. You know, like if you really like Hermosi, look at his old stuff, bro. His old videos, gold, because those gold videos like those, they are what built his initial brand. But then he had to change his content strategy out to cater to social media because social media cares more for being polarizing, getting attention, stuff like that. You know what I mean? But if you go look at his old stuff, gold. Like I'm probably gonna go back into his channel and like start doing that too. Like, let me show you. I'll give you some recs if I remember some. I think I'm gonna switch browsers too, man. I hate this browser, bro. See, like he talked about this. I just saw this video today. How he made $100 million in 3 days, but it was like a 3 year process. But yeah, let's see. Let's go back. No, not these videos. Um, I hope he didn't like unlist them. This is when he was building his gym business. That was crazy. These Yeah, this is good. I think this is about the value equation video right here. I do need to go through. I think I have some saved. Let me go look at a playlist that I have. It's on my other browser. Mm, playlist. Back when he had the porn stash, bro. When he had the porn stash, those videos were gold, bro. Here I actually have a playlist from back in the day. Hold on. I just don't know if I have any of Mosey's videos. That sucks. I don't think I do. Unless he unlisted. I think he unlisted a lot of stuff too, though. Because let me tell you, some of those videos back in the day were gold. And like this guy's stuff too. What's his name? Um, the guy who made school, the guy who invested in school with Hermosi. What's his name? Uh, Sam Ovens. This guy. Like, do you guys know who? You guys know who? Iman Gadzhi is, right? You guys know who you guys know what Iman Gadzhi is, right? The final boss of gurus. Yeah, you know he's at this seminar here that I'm watching right now. He's at this seminar. He bought consulting.com from him. Yeah. He's in here. He asked a question in one of these videos. It's like in the hour mark. He's somewhere on this video. Like he's there at this webinar. Like this guy is different here. Like this guy showed me that there are people who are gonna do way more in life than me than I will ever do. Like there's just some people that are just like above me, and that's okay. But like this guy's one of them. This guy's the way this guy thinks and operates is crazy. Yeah, I love this guy's content. This guy has really good content as well. And like only 200,000 views in 7 years. Like this stuff is gold, bro. Like if you try to find people who people learned from and you go to their content and you go to their old content, that's real sauce. Real sauce. That's why Kermozzi's old videos are really good, bro. Like when he's like had the porn stash and he was writing on a fucking whiteboard, those were elite videos. Elite videos. And I think that's where content creation is probably going to go to as well, is start getting away from all the marketing, not the marketing, all the video editing and all the nice presentations and stuff. And it's gonna go back to like wanting to do or wanting to watch raw stuff because that just feels more authentic. Like I need to buy me like a little whiteboard and like do that myself. Because I do need to start making more content, but I hate being on camera, bro. I hate that shit. Despise. I hate that shit. I like chilling on here, like sometimes like just chilling on here without no face cam. Value driven or feelings delivered driven content. What do you mean? What exactly do you mean by that?
I mean, like in the same way that like an artist delivers a feeling every time they drop a 1 minute 30 second song or a 2 minute song. Like some of
Hmm.
these
Hmm.
things, like the same way, like we have a lot of marketing, but sometimes people just want to see a vlog. Like sometimes that's why those videos do so good because people, it's not about showing your best life. It's more so about like seeing
Relation.
exactly what you could relate to, what you could see, and that's what's gonna get you like how you show the true followers.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, like um, one of my, I already started like planning out how I want to do content, and one of the things I'm gonna really focus on, like for like a day or two, like just only that is, um, figuring out a framework to deliver a message in under like 6 7 minutes, because like a lot of people don't want to watch these webinars because they're like 2 hours long. You know what I mean? So if I can deliver an idea in 6 7 minutes, I can not only do a bunch of videos at once, but if I create that framework, then it's replicatable, and then I become better at it. And so that way, if there's an idea that needs to be covered in something I need to fix or like a problem that I need to solve, that's really the main thing that I'm going with content is like what problems can I solve? Um, because I don't really want to cater to new traders. I would make some videos maybe for new traders, like what is a trend, blah blah blah. I don't want to do that though. Like my main audience is like people who are already in trading. So I just want to figure out um how I can cater to those people, and I have to be solution driven. Like let me give you some idea, like some of the stuff I've listed. Um like for example, like what I've been talking about for the past couple of months with like inversion. It's like how inversion solved my models. Like having no bias is probably a good bias. A framework, oh no, not that. Market laws, embracing continuation mindsets, like how, who to like how do you know who to learn from, especially in a world where everything is like can be fake. Like everything in this world could be faked. So like there has to be a better way to measure authenticity. So like I want to dive deep into that. Um, like what we just talked about today, I have that written here. It's just like you don't need to be bright, you just need conviction. Conviction is like the number one thing. Every system is a pattern, but not every pattern has the same complexity. It's just like people say that you pattern trade a lot. People say that a lot, but like people don't understand that everything that everybody trades is a pattern, right? And if you aren't trading in patterns, then you're trading off discretion. And if you're trading off discretion, then you can't really teach that, which is it's way harder to teach. You know what I mean? So like the issue isn't that you're pattern trading; it's just that you need to add dimension to your patterns to make them more valuable. You know, just like that's the stuff I want to get into this year. It's just like solution driven stuff, you know. And if you guys have ideas, like I'm gonna probably like have some way to like receive that type of feedback and stuff like that, and then make either 15-second videos or 7 second or 7 minute videos and stuff like that solving problems, because that's how I'm going to relate to people is if they've had a similar problem to me or a similar problem to y'all, and then you know go through that. But yeah, if you guys have any more questions or concerns, let me know. If not, I think, but I 100%, yeah, but I mean, I can do both. I'm still going to do these webinars. You know what I mean? Like I save these webinars for Fridays because these webinars take a lot of there's a big cognitive load with these webinars. Like I use 100% of my thinking only on this. I'm only focused on this for 2 hours. Like I don't look at my phone. Like I don't answer texts. Like I don't answer calls. Like unless it's like an emergency, right? But like the cognitive load on this is like a lot. That's why I only do it on Fridays. That's why it's really hard to live trade too, because like the webinars themselves are already taking up so much of my bandwidth for the day. But then I'm having to trade and make decisions too. It's very difficult. It's very, very difficult. So like that's why I said like the other day, it's just like you'd have to pay me a lot of money to do that. For me to give up doing either other meetings or like giving up doing other stuff, like that's what I mean with that. And maybe I'm overthinking it, but that's just kind of how I look at it. Um, yeah, bro. Like, I don't believe in like burnout. I think if you want something really, really bad enough, like I don't think burnout will exist. But yeah, I do have a lot of stuff planned for the year. I have a lot of stuff planned.